Hello, everyone. Hello, YouTubers. This is Anonymous T. Hope you're having an amazing day today. Today, we are recapping what has gone on this morning in the Cardi B lawsuit defamation case against TASHA K. We are in trial day number 4. In this particular video, I'm going to be recapping the live updates that have been taking place and been provided by Mr. Dennis Byron, who's been doing a fantastic job, who is live at the courthouse in Atlanta, who has been taking amazing notes on what is going on in that courtroom and what are the reactions that are happening amongst the jurors, amongst everybody that is there, as well as the plaintiff and the defendants and everything else. I will be sure to link both the Instagram live that he recently just did in my description box. I will also link his Twitter account as well in my description box, so you guys can feel free to check out his Twitter as well, because when he has a moment, sometimes there will be some live tweets and things of that nature of things that are going on. But due to the magnitude of what happened today, he did an Instagram live to just get everything, that took place on there. And a couple of tweets that he did before the Instagram live. One was a juror was excused because she had made some comments about, basically not being happy with, the TASHA K videos. Like, it completely was just awful for her. So, the judge, went ahead and excused her because they didn't want a situation where if they were able to appeal, the outcome of this case, obviously, and then utilize the fact that the juror made that particular comment that could have, potentially obviously been against TASHA K. So everybody just wants to kind of keep everything ethical and moral and everything else that does not to be appear in the case in this defamation lawsuit as it pertains to TASHA K. So I am glad that people are acting with morals and integrity and everything else. The other thing that Mr. Dennis Byron tweeted was also, since the expectation is TASHA K's husband is supposed to testify today, that there is allegedly supposed to be a U.S. Treasurer representative that is supposed to be in the courtroom today, and that is specifically so that if there are any parts of the testimony that they can try to follow the money, to follow how much revenue, to follow the different businesses that are involved with TASHA K and her husband as well, that representative is there potentially. So we will get an update on that if that person is or is not there at the conclusion of today's trial. Again, I will recap the first half that's happened thus far. I will do another recap, whenever we get the update of what took place this afternoon. And again, I also have a playlist specific to this defamation case that has like about 6 or 7 videos so far. So those of you who are new to my channel, welcome, and please check out that playlist so that you can see my recaps on the other few days thus far in the trial. So with that being said, we will get right into it of what took place today. So a shocker that took place is Cardi B took the stand as a witness. And originally, this was not a part of the original witness list. It was supposed to just be TASHA K, her husband, and Cardi B's physician to, of course, debunk the, STD rumors and everything else. So therefore, in Mr. Dennis Byron's opinion, he felt that initially that Cardi B didn't need to take the stand because it was pretty much a slam dunk. It was an open and shut case with how damaging the evidence already that was amounting up against TASHA K. However, with what actually took place in, Cardi B's testimony, there apparently was not a dry eye in this courtroom because she essentially broke down crying, and tears were flowing amongst a lot of the people in the courtroom. And it kind of broke my heart as I was watching this Instagram live, because nobody should have to do this or go through any of this. Like, it's just awful. And so, essentially Cardi B's testimony She is testifying basically how TASHA K's videos and allegations against her and the negative things and the lies that she was spewing about her made her feel. And she, quote, said that, basically she never even cared to care in reference to, TASHA K. And she also had said that TASHA K had lied and said that her father had raped a teenager. Then Cardi B was being asked by her attorney, does she have herpes? Cardi B says no. Does she has HPV? She says no. Is she a prostitute or ever engaged in any type of prostitution? She said no. She was asked if she ever engaged in any embasing acts, and she said no. And she said basically, she just felt as the result of all of this, she felt, pretty helpless. She felt fatigued. She felt tired. She had anxiety. And the hugest thing, which I didn't even know this, she felt suicidal. And then just started crying on the stand. And I didn't know it was this magnitude of what was happening on her end of things. And so she also said she felt at the time that she did not deserve her child shortly after when all of these defaming things were being said about her. And so you'll have to remember when these videos first started, this was shortly after her first child, Culture, was born. So that's what we're dealing with, how long this defamation has been going on for these past few years. And Cardi B said she didn't even know TASHA K. She didn't even know who she was. And the only reason she found out who she was because of a post that TASHA K made promoting the Star Marie Jones interview. And TASHA K was basically tagging Cardi B for attention and views and everything else. And so, essentially Cardi B then, was trying to get in contact with her because she's like, what is going on? And, TASHA K then flipped it to be like, well, you can come on my platform and, debunk these rumors. And essentially Cardi B said no, because one, her management advised her not to. And two, she said that essentially would just make the story bigger because essentially would look like, a whole big show versus what the substance of it is, which is Cardi B clearing her name, clearing these rumors, clearing these defaming things being said about her. But it will be appeared as though as a show, like how TASHA K is, like how her personality is on her platform. It would no longer be about Cardi B defending herself and, exposing what the truth is. And so essentially, with her denying TASHA K, like telling her that she was not going to go on her platform, TASHA K continued to bait Cardi B. She continued to taunt Cardi B. She continued to harass Cardi B. And then she just continued to spread, voluminous number of rumors and lies and defaming and just disgusting rumors about her that were not true, that were blatant lies. And then the questions came up about Star Marie Jones. If Cardi B knew Star Marie Jones, what is their history together? And so she said, essentially, Star Marie Jones and her worked at the strip club together in New York City. And so she basically had an encounter with her on 2 occasions only, and they both were at the strip club. The first encounter was when Cardi B was dancing. Star Marie Jones would help pick up the money that Cardi B was making while dancing. And then the other time was when other strippers saw Star Marie Jones picking up money that didn't belong to her. All of the women were like going to beat up Star Marie Jones. And so basically Cardi B, kind of was the middleman in that and kind of made sure and played peacemaker and made sure that Star Marie Jones didn't get beat up by the other strippers. Other than that, she was asked if, she had ever seen Star Marie Jones outside of the strip club. Cardi B said no. Because of course the rumor was that, Star Marie Jones had been at Cardi B's place and all this other stuff, but she said she's never seen her outside of the strip club. Then on TASHA K's side, the defense attorneys, a couple of them tried to make some objections. However, they were sustained because they were kind of like leading questions that, really weren't going to, make the impact that they were looking for it to make. And so the whole point of Cardi B's testimony was really to ride home and basically put, a stamp on this case, to just put, the final touches on, making sure that this case has only one possible outcome. And that was to make sure that Cardi B presented to the jury the magnitude of this situation, wanted to make sure that the magnitude of her being suicidal was at the, height of what she was dealing with, of the lies that TASHA K was spewing about her. Cardi B also mentioned something that I didn't even know, and she said that this had a negative impact on her marriage, that she didn't even want to have sex with her husband, because of TASHA K spewing all of these cheating rumors, saying, Offset was cheating on Cardi B, saying Cardi B was cheating on Offset. She did not want to be intimate with her husband at this point in time. And then another thing that happened was Cardi B had put a post on Instagram where she's kissing, Culture. And in the comments, she's seeing comments basically asking, well, why are you kissing Culture? Don't you have herpes? Why are you kissing your child on, the cheek or whatever? And it's like, it's just awful. And so, Mr. Dennis Byron really had said that the jury was really listening intently to this testimony. And then, it was to the extent that Cardi B needed counseling. So it's just awful, because you'll remember that TASHA K was adamant and didn't care and didn't have any emotions or reactions to saying lies and knowingly spreading lies about Cardi B, because she essentially said, oh, she's rich, she can just afford therapy anyways. And anyways, it was already so impactful and it was so awful and disgusting to the point that Cardi B was feeling suicidal anyways. This had a negative effect on her marriage to the point that she needed counseling. Like, it is so disgusting and it's so awful. And so essentially they were taking lunch break when Mr. Dennis Byron posted this Instagram live. Initially, they were going to do a cross-examination from TASHA K's attorneys. However, they didn't want to do it at that particular time, was just because emotions were high and everything that had just took place. So temporarily, they had put TASHA K's husband on the stand, and which I had alluded to in a previous video that this was not going to end well, because either TASHA K's husband was going to be on one accord and confirm TASHA K's lies, or he was going to throw her under the bus. Like, there was only two options available. And so essentially, according to Mr. Dennis Byron, when TASHA K's husband took the stand, the attorney's up here asking him, did TASHA K have control over taking down any of the videos or any of her content? And he said yes, basically threw TASHA K, his wife, under the bus. And then another moment in his testimony was, he was asked if he is the president of Kibi Studios. And he says, no, I'm not the president, I'm the owner. And it's like, okay, so if you are the owner and you're receiving 3 cease and desist letters from Cardi B to stop posting this content, stop posting this defaming content on her page, why didn't you take it upon yourself to have the content removed? Isn't an owner a higher level than the president of the company? Like, what is going on with these semantics that, is going on with TASHA K and her husband? Because you're elevating yourself to an owner, which you have at least 50% control of the company. So therefore, you're just as much in control as TASHA K is. You both have as much power in the company to remove the content. It's not like you are the president with 0% ownership in the company. You have 50% ownership in the company. So it's just, I just don't understand. Like, I just feel like, TASHA K and her husband did not take this seriously at all. They're not even on the same page with their testimonies. Also, essentially the lawyer for Cardi B, was discussing kind of what the details of their ownership entails. And so TASHA K's husband is basically saying, hey, that this is all on TASHA K, that she's the one that has all the control, and what she is going to put up on her channel, what she's going to take down on her channel, and just threw his wife under the bus. Just completely threw her under the bus. So, he just basically blamed her for it all. So I don't know if the husband thought, according to Mr. Dennis Byron, if he thought by throwing his wife under the bus on the stand that meant that he was absolved of, any culpability on his end, for what took place. But it just wasn't a good look. So, essentially, after he was asked a few questions, they put Cardi B back on the stand. And, from Mr. Dennis Byron's perspective, he basically just feels that this is just going to be an icing on the cake type of thing for Cardi B's testimony to really, drive home the importance of the impact that this had on Cardi B. Also to write home, that she also is a regular wife and mother, that she came from humble beginnings, that she, and she was herself. She said some curse words and things. However, the jury, nobody flinched. She was, being herself. She was being regular, a normal person, and, discussed her life, discussed going to, community college, discussing, high school, how when she was 18, she worked at a supermarket, and how the reason she got into stripping was because one day she was late working at the grocery store, and they told her to go across the street and start stripping. And so they made that suggestion. And so, part of the other reason Cardi B was doing stripping was because she said at the time she was trying to make money to get out of an abusive relationship so that she could leave that relationship. And so Mr. Dennis Byron, he was looking around at, to see the reactions, to look around to see what, the reactions were of TASHA K and her husband. And he basically said that they looked stoic, that they had no reaction. And you would have thought, after everything Cardi B has said, how much this has negatively impacted her to the point of her feeling suicidal, that they would feel some type of emotion, some type of empathy, some type of guilt, just something, just anything. And there is no reaction. They are completely stoic. He said that TASHA K's husband just looked straight ahead at like whatever was directly in front of him in his peripheral, but just like stoic and straight ahead. TASHA K had no emotion. TASHA K had no reaction. And I guess at one moment she looked back at the courtroom, I guess to maybe see what the other reactions were of everybody else. But again, I don't know if she was trying to get a reaction out of that or what that was about, but she just had like a random look where she turned around, to see what was going on behind her as well, to see, what the impact of Cardi B's testimony was. So that was essentially, what was happening there. And as for TASHA K's husband, oh my goodness. So essentially, Mr. Dennis Byron reported that he said on 2 different occasions, what TASHA K said in her testimony wasn't true. So he's essentially calling his wife a liar based off of her previous testimony, and I just can't. Like, this is just insane. And so he said that he has never used the term identifying himself as the president, even though that is what TASHA K's testimony said. So it's just bad already because their stories are not aligning. And they are supposed to be on one accord. And the fact of the matter that they've had all this time to prep for this case, their lawyers had all this time to prep for this case and prep TASHA K and prep her husband, and neither know what's happening. And they're not only not prepared for this trial, they're completely outmatched. This is awful. You know, and Mr. Dennis Byron really wanted to ride home at this point. It doesn't even matter at this point, whether or not you like Cardi B or not. The issue at hand is all of these things that have come out that TASHA K has said about Cardi B. Like, how can you not have any type of empathy or any type of sympathy that this is happening? Like, even if this just was said about somebody else who wasn't a celebrity, whether you knew the person or not, whether you liked them or not, it's disgusting. It is disgusting to put that type of, rumors and information out there. Like, this is beyond trying to get an exclusive or trying to break news about celebrity or celebrity news and gossip. This is blatant defaming a person, blatant slander. Just completely blatant. Why do we need to know, allegedly somebody's alleged medical records? Number one. Like, seriously? And it's all hearsay from people who didn't even have a close relationship with Cardi B, who Cardi B only saw on 2 occasions. So it's just awful. So back to Cardi B's testimony. Essentially, she's bringing up the fact that now when you try to hashtag Cardi B, if you were on YouTube, for example, trying to look up her music videos, now what's happening is TASHA K's videos that, the ones that have the 4.5 million views where it's her interview with Star Marie Jones, those videos are popping up and are also going viral while people are trying to look for Cardi B's art, which is then just, of course, distorting everything because it is going to obviously prompt certain people to go to TASHA K's video to see the things that she said about her. So, but yeah, it's like at this point, why, for those who don't like Cardi B, why don't you like her? Like, what is it about her necessarily that you don't like? Because this is just awful. And so also Mr. Dennis Byron also said, that Cardi B in her testimony really wanted to also, drive home the closeness that she has to her family, the closeness that she has to her grandmother, and really wanted to drive home the impact that all of these awful things that TASHA K said, all of these lies that TASHA K said on her platform, how this impacted her family and what their reaction is, how they are coping with all of this, to convey all of that to the courtroom, to the jury, so they can see the magnitude of not only Cardi B feeling suicidal and not wanting to be intimate with her husband, and her now even being afraid to post certain content on her Instagram page without people making comments, oh, don't you have herpes, or don't you have this, like, you shouldn't be kissing your daughter, like who does that? So it's just awful. And it's like, you're trying to be a wife, a mother, you are trying to balance your personal life as well as your professional life. You are also on you're a major celebrity. You have all this responsibility, all these things going on, and now you have to take time out of your life, out of your schedule to address somebody trying to destroy your life, trying to destroy your image, trying to destroy your brand, trying to destroy your career, trying to make you look as though you are not a person that is marketable, that is somebody that, businesses can get behind, that are working with you. Like, all of this has effects when you put certain things out there about these people. And to just blatantly say it with conviction and all the vulgar and the nasty things that you're saying in the midst of it as well, by putting your own spin on it and even admitting that you knew it wasn't even true, but you knew if you were first to have any type of exclusive that involved Cardi B, that you were going to get the views, you were going to get the money, you were going to get the, revenue, the clout, the attention that you are looking for breaking a story about Cardi B, even though you knew it was fake news. You knew that it was not correct. It was false. It was not something that you could fact check or prove. And it was something you didn't bother to fact check or prove whether or not it was true. You just wanted to have it out there. And then you continued to make videos. You continued to harass Cardi B because she wouldn't go on your platform. So now you're being malicious because you're upset that she didn't want to go on your platform to debunk the rumors. So, and so even with that, you still get sent 3 cease and desist letters. You ignore all of them and say you're quote unquote going to wipe your ass with them. And then you continue to still spread these same disgusting things about Cardi B. You still are tagging her and everything to get the attention, to get the clout. For your feminine wash, you're tagging Cardi B that she might need this. In your commercial for it and your ad for it, you're tagging Cardi B in the Star Marie Jones interviews. So when people go to look up her content, specifically any Cardi B music videos, any Cardi B interviews, anything that Cardi B has going on in her professional life, she now has to be associated with this video, your video of lies that to this day you still refuse to take down from YouTube. You can still do a search now and that video is still there. All of the slander, all of the defamatory comments that are being made is all still there. And it's just awful. It is just completely awful. So that is essentially, the main things that are happening. But it's just like, the final things that, Mr. Dennis Byron said, and I agreed, like, was all of this really worth it, Tasha K? Was it really worth it to go this hard with your fixation and your obsession with Cardi B, to say all of these negative things about her, to enrich yourself financially at the expense of Cardi B? Like, is it that serious for you? And it's funny because it's like you're the same person that if this was said about you or your husband or your children, you said that's out of bounds. You would not accept that. So why do you feel that it's okay for you to do that? And also I want to say, because I have been checking out a few other YouTubers that are also doing an amazing job of recapping, what is taking place in the courtroom. Can some of these people who are diehard TASHA K fans take a step back and actually assess what is being said, what is actually being reported, and what has been reported for the past 4 days of this trial? Can you guys just take a step back of what is actually happening? Take off your Stan hat for TASHA K and actually see what is going on? Because this is not the move that you think it is by going hard in the paint and comments and in these people's chats, still trying to, defend TASHA K. This is indefensible. This is not something that you want to, die on the sword for. So the people who are going hard at TASHA K and defending her and still trying to come for Cardi B because you don't like her or you prefer another person over her or whatever, like, take a step back and listen to what this case is. Listen to the defaming and slanderous things that are being said. And ask yourself, as a wife, as a mother, as an adult woman, is this okay? Is this appropriate? Because that's what it all boils down to. It's not appropriate. It is disgusting. It is low down. It is trifling. You can have platforms to where you are reporting on celebrities, you're reporting different news, different reactions and things of that nature, but saying somebody has herpes, accusing somebody that is a prostitute, alleging some pornographic acts that turn out to not even be the person because you were so obsessed that you were Googling the person on these porn sites and hoping to find them on a porn site that you know they weren't going to be there, but because you still wanted to have some part of the story make sense so that you could get the views on your channel, you just said it was her anyways. Like, this is what we're dealing with. We are dealing with somebody who obviously, has used their platform now to bully other people. And there is no bottom, there is no morals, there is no level of integrity, and they do not care how low they stoop to take somebody else down. Is that the type of platform that you want to support? That somebody is knowingly willing to spread lies about people for profit because they know it's going to bring views to their channel? Is that what you want to, defend the honor for? Is somebody who is not having any morals, any integrity, anything, but is willing to sell their souls for money, for profit, at the expense of completely tearing down other individuals, other women who are wives, other women who are mothers? Is this the sword you want to die on? Is defending somebody that puts out content like that? I am curious because I am just floored at all of this. I just cannot even believe that we are here, that it has even had to come to this. Because any sane person, the moment you receive the first cease and desist, you would have taken everything down. You would have stopped. But your feelings were hurt that you were rejected, that somebody obviously that you're obsessed with, that you thought that you could get the views by coming to your platform, that you could convince somehow to come to your platform. You were butthurt that they said no and just decided to up the ante on the slander and up the ante on the defamatory comments and things, and continuing to repeat the same lies that you know were not true, but because you were pissed off that you were rejected, you decide to just go on this whole bullying route. So it's not okay. It is not okay at all. And I cannot wait until what happens this afternoon and what Mr. Dennis Byron recaps. And I will do another video update on that. But that is all I have to say. You guys, please react. Please let me know what your guys' thoughts are about today's update of the Cardi B defamation case, day 4 against TASHA K. Please let me know your guys' thoughts. And one other thing before I go. Those of you who are asking, or making the comments that, oh, it's $75,000, it's chump change for TASHA K and blah, 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 blah. No. $75,000 is the minimum amount for this particular case to be in federal court. That is not the amount that if TASHA K is convicted, that's all she's going to be responsible for. The judge is going to make the determination of how much in damages TASHA K and or her husband as well are responsible to pay Cardi B for. In addition to punitive damages, in addition to the emotional stress and everything that's taken place, in addition to the near $1 million that Cardi B has spent on her legal team, all of it. So that's what's at stake here. It's not just a quote unquote $75,000. Oh, no. No. This is way much bigger than that. Way much bigger than that. So I just wanted to nip that in the bud. This is millions that we are talking about here. It's, certain publications wanted to run with that to try to diminish it, or who may have been, fans of TASHA K, to try to diminish this, to make it seem as though this is minuscule. No. This is federal court. Potentially already perjury may have already taken place, allegedly, and there's a lot going on here. So there is a lot at stake. A lot at stake. So I just wanted to, clear the air on that and set that record straight. So finally, that is all the thoughts that I have. Those of you who are new to my channel, welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please check out some of my other videos, my other playlists that I have on my channel of other things I've reacted to, other things I've reviewed and discussed. And also, I have a playlist for all of your updates that you want on the Cardi B defamation lawsuit case against TASHA K. I have been recapping it every day. The past couple of days, I've been doing a morning recap, as well as later on in the evening and afternoon recap of what has taken place from primarily Mr. Dennis Byron's account, and a little bit of Choke No Jokes account, as well as initially some of the things that Billboard was reporting in my first video, but primarily it has been from the commentary and the reaction and feedback from Mr. Dennis Byron. And like I said, I am going to put 2 days morning recap of his Instagram live in my description box. Also a link to Mr. Dennis Byron's Twitter account. Please follow him. Please react. Please support, because he is doing a fantastic job recapping all of this. So I'm very grateful and appreciative to him for him just giving it to us straight, giving it to us the facts of what is actually going on in that courtroom. Because there are some people, unfortunately, who are trying to spin this and trying to diminish this case, and trying to still make it seem that win or lose, that TASHA K is coming out on top, which is not factual information in any capacity. Because her credibility is completely shot, as far as I'm concerned. So that's on that. Those of you who've been back to my page multiple times, those of you who are my subscribers, and to any new subscribers, thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for continuing to come back. I appreciate each and every single one of you. I am thankful. I am grateful for each and every single one of you. Your support, your feedback, your positivity, just everything has been very wonderful. I see all of your comments. I try to react or try to at least like your comments. So please don't be upset if I haven't liked your comment yet. I try to get to everybody as I can when I get time. But I do see everything that you guys are saying, and I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you. And thank you so much for your continued support and word of mouth and all of the support that you guys are doing for the channel and how quickly we've grown. I am so grateful. I was not expecting this at all, but thank you. Thank you so much. Also, with that being said, please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Also hit the notification bell so you guys can be notified the most that I post new content on my page, specifically about this defamation lawsuit, because OMG, there's just so much going on, and a lot to kind of break down and recap. But again, I have a playlist. I also will link, Mr. Dennis Byron's information, so you can also follow him as well, and also tune in to his recaps on his Instagram live of what is going on in that courtroom, so you guys have all of the information as well. And so with that being said, I will talk to you guys later. Have an amazing rest of your day. I will talk to you guys again soon, and have a good one.